Welcome to the deep dive. We often explore these historical narratives that have kind of been, swept under the rug. And today we're going to dig into one that's, it's truly fascinating. It's a story of the Black Angels.
Black Angels.
Thousands of Black nurses. And they played a crucial, absolutely crucial role in combating tuberculosis in New York City in the early 20th century.
Yeah. I mean, tuberculosis, or as it was often called back then, consumption.
Right.
It was just devastating communities.
And for you, our listeners, who, you're always trying to understand the bigger picture, always looking for those insightful aha moments, well, this story is going to be right up your alley. It's about dedication, resilience. It's about a major turning point in medical history. And it's, frankly, it's a story that needs to be told.
Absolutely. We're talking early 1900s, right? Millions are dying from this incredibly contagious disease. And at the time, it was poorly understood.
And tragically, many white healthcare workers just refused to care for the people who were sick.
They were afraid.
Yeah, they were afraid. So enter the Black Angels, right? Thousands of Black nurses, women like Virginia Allen.
Little Virginia Allen, a remarkable woman.
And her aunt, Edna Sutton Ballard. They came to Seaview Hospital on Staten Island.
Seaview. It was a tough place.
And, their story, it goes so far beyond just providing basic nursing care. It's so much more than that.
It really is. They were instrumental not only in caring for the patients, but also the eventual discovery of effective treatments for tuberculosis. And even broader than that, they were a part of this larger struggle for equality within the nursing profession and the healthcare system itself.
And Maria Smilios' book, The Black Angels, the untold story of the nurses who helped cure tuberculosis, that's a crucial source for this deep dive.
Oh, it really lays the foundation.
Yeah.
And she highlights the experiences of so many of these incredible nurses like Kate Gillespie, Clemmy Phillips, Marjorie Tucker Reed, and Luvia Meadows Walker. Just incredible women.
And it's so interesting when you think about the personal context of these nurses, right? Many of them were part of the Great Migration, leaving the Jim Crow South.
A system of laws, of course, that enforced racial segregation and discrimination.
Yeah.
It was a brutal reality.
It was a brutal reality. They were seeking better economic opportunities. And let's be honest, they were trying to escape the just pervasive racial injustice in the South.
And a lot of them ended up in New York.
Exactly. And someone like Edna Sutton Ballard, right, preacher's daughter, she arrives in New York from Savannah, Georgia in the late 1920s. It really humanizes this whole story.
It does. And they often found themselves at institutions like Seaview Hospital, right? It was overwhelmed with patients.
It was considered a pest house, wasn't it?
It was. It was a place where, to be frank, white nurses had largely left.
And so these Black nurses, they bore the heavy, heavy responsibility of providing that essential care
to those suffering from this awful, awful illness.
And what's striking is that even amidst those just unimaginably difficult conditions, their care was marked by this really deep compassion.
Compassion. It was a core part of their ethos.
I mean, they were caring for people who at the time had essentially a death sentence, and yet they focused on their humanity. It's incredible. And given the just overwhelming conditions, the lack of effective treatment, you would think that burnout would be rampant, that despair would set in.
It would be understandable.
It would be. But what do the sources tell us about, how these nurses were able to maintain this level of compassionate care?
Well, it seems like there was this just deep sense of duty, a recognition of the inherent worth of each patient, even when a cure seemed impossible. They were offering comfort. They were providing dignity. They offered human connection in a time of just immense, immense suffering. But their efforts extended far beyond just the bedside. The systemic racism that they faced just fueled this incredible push for professional equality.
And that leads us to the establishment of the National Association of Colored Graduate Nurses.
1934. A landmark year.
Their goal was very clear, very clear. They wanted to integrate Black nurses into the American Nursing Association and, of course, into hospitals across New York.
It was a bold step, a necessary step.
And it was. But it certainly wasn't an easy path.
Not at all. There was a lot of resistance. Some leaders within the nursing profession, they were afraid that integration would cause white nurses to leave.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and even more shocking, there's a documented instance of a hospital president. He made this just abhorrent statement suggesting that tuberculosis would ultimately solve what he called the colored problem.
It's chilling.
It is. And it underscores the deep, deeply ingrained biases that these nurses that they had to overcome. These biases, they still exist today, in more subtle forms, but they can still impact healthcare access and quality today.
It's a sobering thought. And the timeline for integration, it really highlights the just protracted nature of that struggle.
It was a long road.
It was. 1946, that's when all hospitals in New York City finally began hiring black nurses. And the American Nursing Association, they didn't fully welcome black nurses as members until 1948.
Yeah. So, you see, these nurses were engaged in a two-pronged battle, right?
Yeah.
Fighting this deadly infectious disease and simultaneously challenging this deeply entrenched racism within their profession and within society itself.
And all of this against the backdrop of the Great Depression.
A time of just immense economic hardship.
Exactly. Yet their dedication to caring for the sick and vulnerable, it never wavered.
It's truly remarkable.
It is. And while these nurses were fighting for professional recognition, fighting for equality, another battle was also being waged, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
The battle against the disease itself.
The search for a cure.
In the early 1940s, you have this physician, Edward Robiczek. He begins his work at Seaview's morgue.
His own father, had died of tuberculosis.
Really?
Yeah, and it fueled his determination, his drive to find a cure. And this was right around the time of a groundbreaking discovery, streptomycin.
1944.
1944. And initially, there was this incredible hope. Streptomycin was shown to suppress tuberculosis. It was a major breakthrough.
It was.
It even led to the closure of some tuberculosis wards. But, and this is important, it wasn't a complete cure. And even more alarming, resistance to the drug started to emerge.
So not a silver bullet.
Not at all. And ironically, the ward closures, they ended up contributing to nursing shortages by 1946.
Because fewer wards meant fewer nurses were needed, right?
Right. And so the remaining nurses, and of course a significant number of them were the Black Angels, they became even more essential.
Wow. But Seaview's story, it doesn't end there, does it?
No, it takes another really, really fascinating turn. Seaview becomes the epicenter for the next major advancement.
With the discovery of isoniazid.
In 1950.
In Seaview, they choose it as the site for the very first human trials of isoniazid. A journalist at the time even called it, he said it was, and I quote, the most grandiose experiment ever undertaken in the history of medicine.
It was a transformative moment.
And the Black Angels, they were right there at the forefront.
Oh, absolutely. They played a crucial role in administering both streptomycin and then isoniazid to patients. And their detailed observation of how patients responded to these new drugs, that was critical, absolutely critical in determining their effectiveness.
They were working side by side with Dr. Robiczek.
They were. And, this just a meticulous observation by a diverse group of nurses. It highlights something really, really important.
It's that.
It highlights the importance of varied perspectives in scientific research.
It's almost unbelievable that there is actually an attempt to downplay Seaview's central role in this breakthrough.
There was an initial attempt by the National Tuberculosis Association to kind of minimize their involvement. Yeah. But thankfully, the significance of the work that was done there, it eventually reached the press. And so their vital contribution, and of course the crucial role of the Black Angels, it wasn't forgotten.
And what's so amazing is that there's a living connection to this history right there. Virginia Allen, one of the last surviving Black Angels, she still resides at a facility on the grounds of the former Seaview Hospital.
It's incredible.
What are her memories of that time?
Well, she started working there in 1947, so she witnessed the isoniazid trials firsthand. And her perspective is, it's incredibly insightful and it's humble. She emphasizes that they were just, in her words, nurses dedicated to doing our jobs. She describes it as a calling.
She doesn't really embrace that moniker Black Angels, does she?
She doesn't know. But she acknowledges the incredible dedication of her colleagues. It really speaks to their just unwavering commitment to their patients.
And her dedication, it's had a lasting impact, hasn't it?
It has.
Her daughter, she became registered nurse too.
Following in her mother's footsteps. It's a beautiful, beautiful legacy.
It is, and it's a sobering reminder that tuberculosis, it remains the world's leading infectious killer.
It's a global health crisis that's often overlooked.
Sadly, yes. And we've even seen an increase in cases in the U.S. since 2020. There was that recent outbreak in Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah, it was in the news.
Oh.
And it highlights that this is not just a historical problem.
It's not. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the story of the Black Angels, it's abundantly clear that their impact, it goes far beyond just providing care during a time of immense crisis.
It does. Their story is a testament, it's a powerful testament to their incredible dedication, their resilience, and their absolutely essential contribution to a pivotal moment in medical history. They were at the center of the development of treatments that transformed the fight against a disease that had plagued humanity for centuries.
And it really makes you think about their determination, their perseverance. These nurses, they confronted unimaginable obstacles, a devastating epidemic, systemic racism, under-resourced facilities, yet they played a crucial role in this major medical breakthrough and in really pushing for the desegregation of healthcare.
Absolutely. And so this raises a really, really important question, a question for you, our listener. Considering this historical context and the fact that tuberculosis is still with us, it's still a threat, what enduring lessons can we draw from the Black Angels' unwavering dedication? And how can their legacy inform our approach to tackling these persistent healthcare challenges and the social inequities that we still see in our world today? Their story is a powerful reminder that dedication, resilience, even in the face of immense adversity, it can lead to profound and lasting change.
Powerful words to end on.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time.
Take care.